I saw a comment on Paradox Plaza that said HOI4 was basically finished after Waking the Tiger, and everything else was a waste of time. So I've decided to travel back in time to 2018 and see for myself. And here we are, 2018. And oh god, look how few focus trees there are. And remember, quite a few of the focus trees are shared. The warlords all share the exact same focus tree. There aren't many focus trees in this game at this point. The majority of nations still use a generic. And welcome to Germany. Isn't this funny? Until recently they still had this focus tree, so most of you should be familiar with it. Instead, let's just do historical. But yes, many things have changed, but many things are the same. Research, mostly the same, hasn't changed too much, although we used to have cryptology over here. Basically, it's what HOI4 did before La Resistance. In fact, if you don't have La Resistance, I believe you still get this. Anyway, construction, basically unchanged. For production, not much has changed. The customization for planes, tanks, and all of that has changed, but not much else. Okay, something like 25. Yes, that would do, and something like that. We are just going to be spamming out a load of units. We kind of have to, so we may as well. Not much seems to have changed. Back priority, deploy, and now let's deploy them to the fallback line. Huh? That's the first thing I've noticed then. You can't deploy to the fallback order. That's a shame, but oh well, I'll just assign them properly then. But anyway, another thing we're going to do is exercise my units for XP. Believe it or not, at this point in HOI4, XP is a really hard thing to come across. You can really only get it by conflict, or exercising your units, or by getting it via the military theorist. And as you can see, you can only get 005 a day. It was so annoying how little XP you could get. And yes, so much has changed about HOI4's visual appearance. It's so weird looking back on this now because it does look so strange. Right, that's Rhineland, but we're just going to wait a few more days. Oh, and oh yeah, the original Spanish Civil War mechanics. Yeah, before La Resistance, this is how it worked. It would spawn at a random time, and this is what it would look like. I've heard reports from people who don't have La Resistance that the Republicans tend to win over the Nationalists, which is obviously not right. But oh well, I wasn't going to help either of them anyway. Come on, just a few more units. There we go, 555,000. We can now do Anschluss. And if you've ever wondered why Anschluss has a requirement for equipment, this is why. It was so easy to cheese Anschluss back in the day. You could spam units out and get it in 1936. So yeah, Paradox said, no, we don't want that. We're gonna change it. Anyway, 150 pp. Theorist. Look at that. We're barely getting... looks like 0.6 a day. Nope, 0.8. I know there was an exploit you could have done with just one unit to get a load of XP, but come on. I'm not going to min-max an old version of HOI4. God, it's been ages since I had to remember this. In this version of HOI4, you had to buy oil to make things like ships and planes. It sounds so weird, but it's just something we accepted, you know? It's just a thing that you had to do. To be honest, I don't miss this. It was kind of annoying. Right, hello Austria. Thank you. Can we do anything else? Yes, Sudetenland. Again, we're doing the Sudetenland at this point, because of course we can. And oh yeah, since this is the old version of HOI4, we have the original version of the Methobills. No economy of conquest, no nothing, just need to let them pay out. What do you guys think? Do you guys prefer economy of conquest, or do you like this more? Let me know. Anyway, time to make the best template. And yes, I do mean the best template. This was the best template in HOI4, the 7-2. Most of you probably still know about this, as division templates descended from it are still meta. At this point, the combat whip and all the other stuff were a lot more rigid. You kind of had to do things in 20s, 40s. This was a really good template. The only template that was better was the 14-4s, but they were so expensive. And yes, you used to be able to put your templates like this instead of something like this. HOI4 changed it somewhat recently. I don't really care about the change, it doesn't really matter that much, but it's funny looking back on this knowing we used to be able to do this. Right, come on, gimme the Sudetenland. At this point it isn't even Chamberlain, it's Baldwin. Thank you. Anyway, Vienna Reward. Realistically, at this point, I should be doing focuses like Hermann Goering work, KDF wagon, you know, for the extra civs, but there's genuinely no reason to, at all. Wait a minute, I just tried to Shift K exercise. Can you guys hear that? I'm doing Shift K, and as it turns out, Shift K doesn't exist yet. Wow, that's annoying. Some of you might be thinking I can get extra XP or command power from my military staff, but no, I can't. The current version where all of them give some sort of bonus is actually much better. This was kind of annoying. I mean, look how expensive these guys are. God, artillery used to be cheap back in the day. I don't think I'd be getting 4 a day on 8 factories now. I do kind of miss this, but considering how powerful artillery actually is in HOI4, I guess it had to be done, didn't it? What to do about Czechoslovakia? Could partition, get puppets, or take it all? Oh okay, we'll do the historical thing, Slovakia. But here's something that has definitely changed. At this point, there is no resistance. No really? Yes, there is technically this, but it doesn't really matter. When you annex a state, you get all of the benefits from it. No really, I get all of the factories. There we go, 6 immediately. Instead of building up compliance, it's instant. And yeah, no surprise, Paradox wanted to change that. It's ridiculous. But interestingly enough, you can still see this in current HOI4, just in very, very limited circumstances. You see this is East Timor. It is a colony state, and colony states, even in current day HOI4, work exactly like this. If you annex them, you get the bonuses immediately. I'm kind of surprised HOI4 hasn't changed this yet, but I guess it's not really a priority. Anyway, reassert Eastern claims. HOI4 has recently put generals like Rommel and some of the other ones behind a focus, which I don't think is a problem. I don't know, I know some people don't like that, but I really don't have a problem with it. I'm going to say this a lot today, because so much has changed about HOI4. I forgot about the original infrastructure mechanics. So yeah, at this point, HOI4 still bases its supply around the capital. All supply comes from here. So, the only thing you can do is build infrastructure to the capital. That's it. No railways, no nothing, just infrastructure. And it goes up to level 10. A funny consequence of this is if you encircle the capital, like London, all units will lose supply. And we used to exploit this ridiculously. The idea would be to encircle London, they'd lose supply, and that would be it. But I do think the current version with supply hubs is much better. It was really silly how it used to be. It's actually much better now. And this is why infrastructure is included in some really old focus trees. Nowadays it would be railways, but to be honest, even now, I still prefer getting infrastructure. Right, come on, Memel, thank you. And early, very early actually, let's do Danzig. And yes, the Air Force, it has somewhat been changed since this. As you can see, I can only deploy one type at a time. I can only do CAS at this point. I can only do fighters. And now I can only do bombers. But yeah, at this point you can have your wings be almost any size. You can set them up to be 1,000 if you want to be. And to be honest, this should be brought back. I don't know why Paradox wants every wing to be 100. It makes it just very annoying to manage. And yeah, my units are actually on the front line, but for some reason when I shift-clicked them like this, they still apparently don't have an order. Don't know why. They should still move, but it's confusing, isn't it? It looks like they have no order. Oh, we just lost the Hindenburg. Well then, Poland, I guess you have to pay for that. Let's go. Oh yeah, this is Poland's original focus tree. But from what I remember, the only reason Poland has this focus tree in the first place is to say sorry. I don't remember the exact story because I didn't play HOI4 at the time, but from what I know, the only reason Poland has this focus tree is because HOI4 got delayed from its original release date, and this is what Paradox did to say sorry. They made a free DLC that came with Poland's focus tree. And that's why even now you can still find remnants of Poland united and ready. Invading Poland hasn't changed that much over the years. You just need to push. Come on, take Warsaw. Come on. Still much to do, but come on, we should take it. Huh, we actually did encircle it. How much further to go? Not far. Poland isn't even in the Allies. That's unfortunate for them. Any day, any moment. There we go. And oh yeah, this is the original peace deal screen. We'll definitely talk about this later. But there we go. Right, I guess I should take the Benelux, shouldn't I? Mine. Oh, I forgot to give them an arrow. There they go. Really? That's bold. They naval invaded me. That's kind of cute. That's adorable. And that is Belgium. But now we actually have to get France in here, because France actually hasn't joined the Allies yet. Right, let's spike that tension or something. That would probably do it. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Tension used to spike immediately when you did it. Watch this. It goes immediately to 91%, instead of building up slowly. There we go, just a fine on them, got them in the Allies. Perfect, let's get them. And Italy wants in. Right, let's encircle this, shall we? Is that a naval invasion? I think that is. My god, my tanks have already broken through. And here is the original version of Vichy France. You have to give Hungary Transylvania. Wait, that's weird. I really thought Vichy would spawn. I think I messed up Vichy's spawn. The only big difference is that Vichy France spawns as a puppet of Germany. So that means they get called in immediately. Which is definitely a pain for the Allies, but whatever. Although of course, that Vichy actually gets a focus tree. At this point, Vichy does not have one. Okay, let's invade the UK, shall we? This is long before the UK AI changes, so this should be nice and easy. We're just going to invade from Dover, I think, and... Oh, can only create a single naval invasion from any given port. Yeah, this is stupid. I'm glad Paradox changed it. The fact that you can only do one invasion from one port is just... wrong. It's just wrong. And Paradox knew it. That's why it had to go. Oh, finally Vichy France spawned. Well, there you go. Like I said, they just spawn as a puppet of Germany, so they're in the war immediately. That's the main difference. And oh yeah, they call in Italy for some reason. Right, so let's do this naval invasion. But this will show us something really different. The Navy. Look at this. And to be honest, I don't like the original naval mechanics. They're annoying to deal with. It's not the worst thing in the world, don't get me wrong, but... come on. Come on, man. Anyway, convoy escort, because there is no strike force. And do I get green? Of course I do. The UK used to be so bad with its navy. You think it used to be bad before GGR? It used to be even worse. Invading the UK used to be a joke. See, look at this. There's no units on any ports. The AI used to not defend its ports at all, so they had to change it, because it caused this. It made invading way too easy. I know it's only 1937, but trust me, the UK will defend their ports, even at this time. Right now, no, they don't do anything. And it's just ridiculous, isn't it? You can just walk right in. But oh well. We just fought a major battle and we succeeded. Somehow we still have Green Sea. Never mind, and there we go. Back to the peace deal screen. And I guess we can talk about some of the changes. As you can see, we can't take reps, rights, navy, nothing. The only way we can steal the navy is if we puppet and annex them normally. And that's the least of it, as well, because I dominate this conference so much. The way this used to work was so beneficial to the guy with the most war score. You could dominate the conference. But there were things you could do. Like, if you puppeted the UK in like one state, say like London, the AI would just ignore everything else they had. You could just take all of the UK for basically nothing. So yes, it used to be very easy exploiting these peace deals, and I was very good at it. But I do admit, what we have now is much better than what we had then. Before I forget, let's puppet the Raj. Burma and the UK themselves will conquer Belgium, Luxembourg, and Wallonia. Annoyingly though, there is another big problem with these peace deals. There is no disputing. If the AI takes something, you can't take it. The only way we can get the Scottish Highlands from Italy now is to annex them. And that's pretty stupid, isn't it? There we go, we got a tiny bit more war score by pressing the button a few times, and now I can take everything else. There we go, whoops, I took a bit too much of the UK. Let's return that to them. There they go. So yeah, was HOI4 finished in 2018? No, no it wasn't. This game at this point is on its way, but it has so many problems with it. The peace deals are a mess. The UK is way too easy to capitulate. Its focus tree is very, very small. In fact, most countries don't even have focus trees, and the ones that do are ridiculous. Look at Italy's focus tree. Here's the Soviets. It doesn't seem too bad, but then you remember the Great Purge takes 210 days, and that gives you one of the worst versions of the Great Purge. Oh my goodness, org minus 50%. I mean, for goodness sake, at this point you still have to research your doctrines properly. So I guess the question is then, when was HOI4 finished? When was HOI4 at its best? The very next DLC that came out was Man the Guns, and that introduced the naval rework, but that still left Italy and the Soviets with their old focus trees. So personally, I would say HOI4 was finished in 2022, when By Blood Alone released. That DLC had the last original major rework, that being Italy's, but that also introduced the current peace deals we have now. And with that, I think HOI4 was in a pretty fine state. But I think if Paradox said show's over, we're moving on, most of us would have been okay then. And with EU5 about to be released, maybe it is finally time for Paradox to move on. So until next time everybody, I thank you for watching, I do hope you've enjoyed it, and until we meet again, from me, Bubbles Zest. Goodbye.